Hi friends, welcome back. This is Alex of Star Astrology, and this is my video for the new moon in Scorpio coming in on November 1st, 2024, which is a Friday, and it will be around 5 in the morning on Pacific Standard Time. So honestly, Thursday the 31st, for actually a couple different reasons, is probably going to be the day where you feel the most intensity. Wednesday is a bit intense as well, but Thursday is definitely, if I was going to pick a day of the week that had the strongest energy, it would be without a doubt Thursday, the 31st. Here on YouTube, in these reports, I focus my attention on the new and full moons of the month. If you're looking for a more detailed breakdown forecasting, I have a monthly membership where I send you a weekly forecast to start your week, where I go into these energies in a lot more detail so you kind of know what to expect before these energies come in. We've also got a community message board over there. You get access to courses. It's really cool. So if you're interested in hearing more about the monthly membership, you can go to coyotestarastrology.com. So this new moon, it's a little bit intimidating. I won't lie. I think that Scorpio moons sort of are generally a little bit intimidating. But there's also some strength in this new moon. And a bit of like determination is what I feel out of it. However, it's coming within just a very emotionally exhausting astral landscape. We've sort of been just tossed around in the waves for quite some time now. And if I'm being honest, and I hate saying this, but it's the truth, it's not really getting smoother in the next couple of months. November and December are difficult. They are difficult astrological months. And I remember when I did my report for 2024, and oh my God, I can't believe it's almost time for me to do the next one for the first half of 2025, which is crazy, by the way. But I remember when I did the 2024 report, it was a really interesting year. And then when I got to November and December, I was kind of just like, what the fuck? What is this? And I think a lot of astrologers are feeling the same. There's two really pivotal retrogrades. One that will actually start its pre-shadow next week. Mercury will enter pre-shadow next week, and it's a doozy of a Mercury retrograde. It makes 3 squares to Saturn. It's in Sagittarius. If you want more details on these, this is what I do on the membership. But what I will say here on this channel is, like, if you can avoid travel, in November and December, I would. Sometimes we have to do what we have to do. So, don't worry. If you gotta go somewhere, you gotta go somewhere. But if you can avoid it, I would. And then we've got a Mars retrograde that is going to be super powerful because Mars is the current ruler of the North Node. And that starts early December. So think about that. We've got 2 big retrogrades about to come in on the horizon, and retrogrades are about slowing down. So we've been tossed around the waves for a while, and now all of a sudden there's going to be some brakes pulled, and a lot of people are going to be rethinking a lot of things, especially that Mars retrograde. With Mars being the North Node ruler, that means that, like, honestly, everyone's North Star, everyone's guidance system towards their destiny is gonna be potentially redirected, or they're gonna be at the very least asked to slow down and really think some things over. So that's just sort of, I wanted to just mention that because I don't think that I can go into this new moon without mentioning that as being part of the energies, because, we're well within the Mars pre-shadow at this point, and the Mercury pre-shadow is right around the corner. So it's all happening. Now, what can we say about this new moon specifically? Well, it's a new moon in Scorpio. Let's speak some positive about this new moon. I think that if you have been wanting or needing to make some type of big change, that this new moon is going to provide you with the stamina and the will to put that into gear. Maybe as a result of some like almost internal emotional desperation, but it does have some teeth and some muscle, this new moon. It really does. And that's because the new moon, the ruler, both traditionally and in more modern, like evolutionary astrology, I mean, we have Pluto. If you consider Pluto the ruler of Scorpio, as in EA astrology, it's here. And if you're more traditional and you consider Mars, it's here. And look at that aspect there. So the co-rulers of this new moon are technically at war. Exactly. 29 degrees, 29 degrees. And Mars is slowing down because Mars is preparing to turn retrograde soon. So Mars is just kind of like stalking through these last degrees of Cancer here, where it's like ultra freaking emotional in this like very primal way, making aspect to Pluto that's bringing all of this emotion up to the surface. So that just kind of casts this extra shadow, if you will, onto the week itself, where there's a lot coming up emotionally. Venus also squared Saturn throughout the week, so people that are in relationship may be encountering some difficulties during that as well. The Mars opposite Pluto doesn't help, that's for sure. But when we consider that both of these, being an EA astrologer, I would favor Pluto. So we'll go with that. With Pluto as the ruler, really, of this moon. Pluto is the lord of transformation, but he also asks that we surrender or release something, let something die in order to be reborn. So there is this sense within this new moon, which is of course a new cycle, of like letting something die so you can step forward. But there might be something somewhat emotional about that. There's a real sense of emotional vulnerability in this chart, I will say as well. I would say a little bit of volatility, but also vulnerability. It's kind of like a mixed bag of both. Either way, this new moon sets forth a wave of change that appears to be the result of some pretty intense emotional desires. And I use the word desire because of Mars. Mars rules our desires, and our desires fuel our movement through life. We go after things because we desire them, right? So this new moon is that's why I use the word, I think I said it earlier, desperation. It almost has this like, I want this so bad feeling. And I'm willing to plunge into the abyss to get it. That's kind of like what this chart screams in a lot of ways. But this new moon, particularly, as I said, is a snapshot in time amidst a bunch of other really intense things that are maybe like competing for that energy a little bit. So this is a snapshot of a moment where you're focusing your energies on Friday or even Thursday, where you're going after something. You're ready to take a new step in some emotional way. Scorpio is about loyalty, and Mars in Cancer opposite Pluto gets pissed off when it doesn't feel emotionally tended to. So this chart also has a lot of depth around seeking some like new level of emotional loyalty or intimacy, and maybe letting some areas die where that is not being offered or experienced. The day prior to the new moon, I'm going to just show you because honestly, it's quite different from the new moon, and I think that it's going to play into the energy a lot. The first half of Thursday, the 31st, kind of when we wake up in the morning on Pacific Standard Time. So honestly, yeah, this is like a little bit of a Wednesday energy too. The moon in Libra will make square to Pluto, which is technically squaring Chiron. So that, my friends, that's called a grand square, right? So that is creating a lot of intensity in the skies, for sure, the days leading up. And then the new moon comes in the following day, and it's just kind of like, okay, we're starting something new in the midst of all this energy, but there's just a lot of freaking emotional charge in the air, you know? So yeah, I'm wishing you all an amazing week, and you know, hopefully within the Scorpio energies, you can streamline your energy emotionally in places that feel like a good investment, and away from those that don't, pretty much, with the North Node in Aries. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you've been wanting to work with me one-on-one, I'm taking reading bookings right now. You can find the information on how to do that at coyotestarastrology.com. And I'm over on Instagram at Earth2Coyote. All right, everyone. Bye for now.